Hi everybody, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Wolverine 50th Anniversary Logan vs. Sabretooth 2-pack. So before we take a look at the star of the set, which is of course Sabretooth, let's go ahead and take a look at Logan and his accessories. So first up, Logan comes with a relaxed left hand and an accessory holding right hand. I wish we would have got a set of relaxed hands. It always annoys me when Hasbro doesn't include a set of relaxed hands with a figure. Up next, you get playing cards for the accessory holding hand. You can see it says Xavier on the back, and you can see the X-Mansion gates. And you can see queens and sevens on the back here, painted very nicely. He doesn't hold these cards the best. Honestly, I'll probably use these with Gambit. I think it'd be good to have some powered down cards for Gambit to hold. So that's actually what I'm going to use the cards with. Up next, you get a set of clawed hands, and these look fantastic. I can't remember what figure first used these new claws, but these look really awesome. And finally, he comes with an alternate smirking head sculpt. And I think this head sculpt looks good. All the details that are printed on it and the sculpt of it looks very nice. But I would have preferred an angry head sculpt, like a yelling head sculpt. I would have much preferred that to the smirking one, even though this one does look good, all things considered. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the regular head sculpt. So taking a look at the standard head sculpt that he comes with, I think this looks really good. It's a very stern expression, and I like that better than the smirk. The hair that you can see sticking out of the cowboy hat there is sculpted very nicely, and the printed details look very good. I do feel like his lips are a little too pink, but other than that, I think this head sculpt looks really nice. I was going to switch it out with the previous one, but the skin tones are different colors. So yeah, I mean, it might fit. I'll look here in a second. But yeah, the skin tones don't match up, and that would drive me nuts. He does have a brand new upper torso, and it's sculpted very nicely. The shirt has some really cool texturing to it. The buttons are painted very nicely. The chest hair and the hair on his forearms and hands is actually sculpted and painted on, and that looks very good. They actually painted the peg right here. The peg is red, and they painted half of it skin tone, and that looks really good. From the waist down, he does reuse the older Riders Wave Wolverine and Fan Channel Wolverine lower half. And I have to say, I think I like the way this one is painted better, because you get that light blue wash over top of the pants. And that looks a lot better. You still get that really cool texturing on this, but you don't get any sort of paint variation. I really think it could have used some of that. So there you can see how they look. Let's go ahead and pop this head off and see how the other head sculpt will look on this. So this is what the old Logan body mold with the new head looks like, and that sits too far up on the peg. As I said, the skin tones are also different, so that does not look good at all. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up just about all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. Swivel at the bicep that can move side to side, but it's a little crunchy. He has double-jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. He has swiveled wrists that can move side to side and up and down. On his card-holding hand, he actually has a hinge. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm. It can barely move back. Can't really move forward at all. It does move side to side nicely, though. You get swivel at the waist, but you can hear it clicking. He has ball-jointed hips that can only move out that far. He can kick forward just about all the way. He can barely kick back at all. He has a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knees that can bend back that far, a swivel up here at the shin that can move side to side, and ankles that can move down very slightly, up just a little bit, and rock very slightly. It's a very crunchy joint, and mine doesn't want to move. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Sabretooth and his accessories. So first up, Sabretooth comes with this set of hands. It's not really a gripping hand, and it's not really a relaxed hand. Up next, you get the open hands, which is what I like to leave on the figure. You also get this smirking head sculpt, a very sinister smirking head sculpt. I think Hasbro did an excellent job at sculpting and painting this. It looks very good. And finally, you get this angry screaming head sculpt. And this is the head sculpt that I prefer to leave on the figure. It's just sculpted and painted so well. The print tech that Hasbro uses has definitely been refined since they first introduced it. All of the lines here on his face have some paint detail on them, but it's that print tech. You get some of that print tech around the eyes there for the red shading. You also get a little bit of red printed there on his eyes, on the outside of his eyes. That just looks very nice. Hasbro did an incredible job on this head sculpt. The fur is also sculpted really nicely. You get some nice brown variation over top of it, but you only get it right here. You can see the line right where it stops. I wish they would have painted that all over the back and the top of it. because when you look at it from the side, it's kind of distracting how the line just stops right here with paint variation. So the same way, it kind of fades over here. It's done just a little bit better, but I still would have preferred that over all of the fur right here. He uses the Omega Red body mold, which is the body mold a lot of fans have wanted a Sabretooth one for a very long time. And this is finally the Sabretooth that we've been wanting. I will go so far as to say this is the definitive Sabretooth figure. He's bulky, he's sculpted really well, and all of the brown details on his outfit are painted very well. I don't think there's any sort of new sculpt to this. I'm pretty sure the sculpt is exactly the same as Omega Red. Of course, the only difference is the color he's cast in and the brown painted over top of it. I actually thought he had brand new forearms right here, but when I was switching the hands out here, this is actually an overlay piece, so it just slides on like that. It almost looks like a brand new piece because it's kind of seamless right here where the glove's at. So Hasbro incorporated this new glove piece very nicely onto the figure. And here is the back of Sabretooth. Not much more going on there, but as I said, it still looks really good. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball jointed head that can't quite look back because of the fur here on his suit. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side very nicely. He has shoulders that can move out that far. The right side does move out just a little more than the left. He has very nice butterfly joints, swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows that can bend just about all the way in. Oh, that was my fault. They can bend all the way in. He has a swivel wrist that can move side to side and up and down. He has an ab crunch that can move back all the way. He can crunch forward all the way. He can move side to side there at the waist. He has hips that can't quite do a split. He can kick forward all the way. He has some nice articulation there. He can kick back just a little bit. He has a swivel at the thigh, double jointed knees, and ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a very nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here they are next to the fan channel exclusive Wolverine. Here they are next to the Amazon exclusive box set Wolverine figure. Here they are next to the Omega Red from the same box set. This is the body mold that this new Sabretooth uses, and I think it was a brilliant reuse. I think Hasbro did a really good job at reusing this mold and adding some new parts to make it look good. Here they are next to the old Toy Biz Sabretooth figure, and honestly, I think this is still a decent looking figure. I love the paint variation on him. That head sculpt looks really nice, and I love the paint variation on the fur there on his shoulders. I think that looks really good. He is dated, but I still think he looks pretty decent, all things considered. Here they are next to the Puckwave Sabretooth figure. I believe this was the first time Hasbro did a Sabretooth figure. Definitely not my favorite look, but I had to pick it up. Here they are next to the Apocalypse Wave Sabretooth figure, and I absolutely hate that Hyperion mold. I am so happy Hasbro did away with it because this was definitely not the right body mold for Sabretooth. This new one looks so much better. The head sculpts on the new Sabretooth are also infinitely better than this old one. For some reason, the lower jaw on that one was a separate piece and it had this really ugly cut on each side of his face. This one is definitely dated, and I'm glad we finally have a good version of Sabretooth from Hasbro. Here is the Bonebreaker Wave Crackhead Sabretooth. Honestly, these don't even look like the same character. Here they are next to Cyber. Here they are next to 90s Deadpool. Here they are next to Lady Deathstrike. And finally, here they are next to Maverick. So overall, I think Hasbro did a fantastic job on this pack. I would be lying though if I said that I bought this for Logan. I mainly bought it for Sabretooth, because he has been needing a redo for quite some time. And as I said, this is finally a definitive version of Sabretooth. I think he looks fantastic and so much better than all of the previous offerings from Hasbro we've got on a Sabretooth figure. Logan is a really good figure as well. I just really didn't need him in my collection. It wasn't really a must-have for me. I do think that this should have been a single-carded Sabretooth figure, but I'd still recommend picking this up because it is constantly selling out, mostly because people want that Sabretooth figure. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.